the headlines of this hour on VTV News. Vietnam proactively develops semiconductor and artificial intelligence industry. And later on, agricultural export turnover up 8.3% in 2 months. In our world news, Russia agrees in principle with the U.S. ceasefire proposal.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended the policy forum on Friday morning. Theme Vietnam proactively develops the semiconductor and artificial intelligence industry in the new era. The event brought together hundreds of semiconductor and AI experts from world-leading corporations at the National Innovation Center. This initiative serves as a practical step toward implementing Resolution 57 of the Politburo. And at the forum, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized that science, technology, innovation, and semiconductor manufacturing form the foundation of the country's development. The government is committed to eliminating institutional barriers, which have long been a major bottleneck to foster growth in these sectors. At the same time, the country is developing strategic infrastructure to support this initiative. Vietnam currently has approximately 16,000 business licenses, creating substantial compliance costs for enterprises. And although authorities are working to eliminate unnecessary regulations, recent draft policies threaten to increase bureaucratic hurdles. And a key example is the draft amendment to Decree Number 15, which details the implementation of the food safety law. The new draft would expand self-declared product dossier requirements, potentially reversing the benefits of the current decree that saves businesses over $290 million annually.
Under the draft amendment, packaged agricultural products designed for easy transport may be reclassified as pre-packaged food, a change that would require additional administrative procedures and product declarations. Businesses have expressed concern about the new product categorization rules.
For small businesses like ours, navigating these complex administrative procedures is extremely challenging.
The draft also mandates batch-by-batch testing for all product indicators, contradicting international codex standards, which recommend periodic testing based on risk assessment. This could significantly raise costs and erode the competitiveness of Vietnamese enterprises.
Many of these requirements focus on quality rather than food safety. Globally, such aspects are not subject to strict regulatory control.
Notably, the draft adds another bureaucratic layer by requiring a 3-month dossier review for self-declared products. This could lead to delays, missed market opportunities, and further business disruptions.
If implemented, this will immediately weaken our domestic competitiveness. Given the volume of goods produced and circulated annually, nearly a third of all products could be stuck in limbo awaiting approval.
Business associations stress that companies are committed to food safety, but enforcement should focus on substantive post-market inspections rather than excessive paperwork. Streamlining regulations is essential to achieving Vietnam's 8% GDP growth target and drastically cutting unnecessary administrative procedures.
State-owned enterprises, or SOEs, play a crucial role in the economy, holding nearly about $157 billion in asset and over 20% of the country's business sector capital. Boosting SOE productivity is key to achieving this year's 8% plus economic growth target and moving toward double-digit growth in the coming years. And to accelerate progress, businesses are prioritizing technology adoption as a key solution.
Fuel payments and invoices are automatically processed via a linked e-wallet, streamlining cashless transactions. The Vietnam National Petroleum Group is piloting this technology to improve cost control and efficiency. The group prioritizes technology adoption and business expansion to achieve growth of over 8%.
We see many benefits, more payment options, enhanced customer experience and convenience. Additionally, transactions are recorded promptly, transparently, and securely, reducing payment risks.
Meanwhile, businesses are adopting advanced technology to meet this year's 60 million ton coal demand for power generation. This company has invested in mechanized mining, boosting capacity to 1.2 million tons annually, 7 times more than traditional methods.
Previously, mining technology produced only 150 tons per year, but productivity has now surged to 600,000 to 1 million tons annually.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade has adjusted industry and production targets to meet 2025 growth goals.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade's action program sets targets of 12.5% growth in electricity production and imports and 9 or 10% industrial growth, with the latter aiming for 12.5%.
Last year, total budget revenue surpassed $78 billion for the first time, with state-owned enterprises contributing over 10%. Strengthening their pioneering role, embracing innovation, and boosting production will contribute to achieving socio-economic development goals.
Rice prices in the Mekong Delta and export markets have increased slightly compared to last week, following the Prime Minister's official dispatch on managing rice supply and demand 2 weeks ago. The market has shown notable changes. Domestic rice prices have risen by $4 to $8 per kilogram for varieties such as Dai Thơm, OM, Japonica, and Nang Hoa rice, with fluctuations between 22 and 36 cents. Vietnam's current export rice prices have remained stable since last week, with 5% standard rice currently priced at $392 per ton. And according to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Vietnam's exports of agricultural, forestry, and aquatic products grew by 8.3% to nearly $9.34 billion in the first 2 months of this year. Several sectors experienced significant fluctuations, with seafood exports rising by 18.6%, marking a clear recovery after a challenging 2024. This growth was primarily driven by increased demand for catfish and shrimp in the U.S. and Japan. Asia remains the largest consumer by region, accounting for over 42% of Vietnam's total agricultural, forestry, and aquatic exports. However, exports to China declined by 4.3%, reflecting challenges with China's quality control policies and import demand. Vietnam's agricultural sector, despite its positive growth, faces major challenges. Export markets have tightened regulations on agricultural products, requiring local producers, manufacturers, and businesses to adapt quickly. Meanwhile, rising competition from similar products in importing countries has further complicated the export landscape.
As one of Vietnam's leading shrimp exporters, generating over $600 million in annual revenue, Minh Po Corporation is facing growing uncertainties, particularly in the massive Chinese market.
Chinese farmers have started farming shrimp indoors, even in high-rise buildings, making competition extremely tough. Selling shrimp to China is no longer profitable. It's either break-even or loss-making.
We are working with seafood processing associations, businesses, and relevant authorities to stay updated on market trends and develop timely, effective response strategies.
Similar to shrimp, Vietnam's rice industry is also experiencing setbacks due to a sharp decline in global demand. With supply increasing and demand dropping, processing plants are struggling.
India has lifted its rice export ban. Since the beginning of the year, exporters have been waiting for prices to drop, and now, domestic rice prices have plunged significantly.
Vietnam's agricultural exports generate over $65 billion annually. However, the sector lacks effective control over production volume and quality. Harvesting and selling activities remain uncoordinated and heavily dependent on market fluctuations, making sustainable growth difficult to achieve.
And before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate for today, March 14th. Coming up next on VTV News. Hanoi intensifies efforts to tackle air pollution. And Ramadan market thrives in the heart of Ho Chi Minh City. The Hanoi Municipal People's Committee, in collaboration with the Vietnam Academy of Science and Technology, held a workshop on urgent environmental protection issues in the capital on Friday morning. More to follow.
Among Hanoi's pressing environmental challenges, cleaning urban rivers and addressing air pollution remain top priorities. While various measures have been implemented, experts argue that they are still insufficient.
There is no available database. An emission inventory has not been conducted, and the monitoring system is not operating effectively. Air quality management remains weak.
In addition to strong political commitment, technological advancements play a crucial role in tackling air pollution. Cutting-edge technologies for monitoring, waste treatment, and air pollution control must be widely applied in Hanoi. Scientists have proposed solutions that could be implemented to help the city achieve tangible improvements.
While scientists can propose numerous research-based solutions, collaboration with policymakers at both the city and regional levels is essential for effective implementation.
Environmental pollution is not only a concern for Hanoi but also affects surrounding localities. Therefore, addressing pollution requires a regional approach.
Hanoi will draw on insights from domestic and international experts to develop and implement effective strategies. After this workshop, the Department of Agriculture and Environment and the Hanoi Institute for Socioeconomic Development Studies will be tasked with conducting further research and proposing concrete solutions.
A community digital transformation team comprising more than 200 students and young intellectuals from Ho Chi Minh City launched the Digital Citizenship Program in District 1 on Friday morning. The program, jointly organized by the Center of Science and Technology Development for Youth and the People's Committee of District 1, focuses on 4 key activities: installing and using the Ho Chi Minh City Digital Citizen application, registering digital signatures, conducting public services online, and digitizing records. Youth volunteers and digital transformation team members will visit households to assist citizens with these tasks, particularly helping senior citizens and those who have difficulty accessing technology. And the program will run until the end of March. The domestic passenger terminal T3 at Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport will open on April 30th to celebrate the 50th anniversary of national reunification, as directed by the Prime Minister. Construction of the terminal T3 is now 90% complete, and work is being expedited on major components, including bridges, elevators, escalators, telescopic bridges, baggage conveyors, and X-ray machines. The airport has prepared plans to verify the reliable operation of equipment systems, streamline passenger service procedures, conduct staff training, and improve passenger communications. The Kon Tum Provincial Party Committee has officially launched a policy promoting community-based tourism villages. The initiative aims to establish 10 tourism villages in ethnic areas of Kon Plong District, with plans to expand the model to other districts. And this strategy is vital for improving living standards and preserving the cultural identity of ethnic groups in the Central Highlands.
This Con Cheng coffee village of the Mo Nam people always bustles with visitors every weekend. Anuk's house has become a popular destination for tour groups, where his local cuisine captivates visitors. Through tourism, his family and many other households in the village now enjoy better livelihoods than they did through farming alone.
Growing cassava doesn't earn much, around $1,500 to $3,000 USD a year. Tourism helped my family earn nearly $8,000 US last year.
Currently, the province has officially recognized 2 community-based tourism villages. The locality plans to establish at least 2 more such villages in each commune over the next 5 years.
2 community tourism villages and 8 running villages have shown positive results, bringing income to villagers and contributing to reducing poverty.
More importantly, the model not only promotes the economy but also empowers ethnic groups to preserve and promote their culture.
Currently, Kon Tum province is developing 14 King community-based tourism villages throughout its districts and cities. Community-based tourism also helps promote local specialties such as vegetables, medicinal herbs, and cold weather coffee to many tourists. Tourism has brought transformative changes to ethnic communities in the northern Central Highlands.
Nestled in the heart of Ho Chi Minh City, there's a very special market that opens only once a year during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan, and located in alley 157 on Dương Bá Trạc Street, District 8. The market is drawing many eager customers.
Though marked by just a few simple signs, the Ramadan Chem Village cuisine, also known as the Halal Culinary Village, reveals a rich culinary world within its alley. Here you'll find beef sausage, beef curry, and hanam peh. The market showcases numerous traditional dishes from the Muslim Cham community.
I bought beef dumplings. In our religion, we only eat beef, chicken, and seafood, not pork.
Not only followers of the faith, but also diners from near and far come to enjoy this special cultural cuisine, which is available just once a year.
I bought beef curry and fried fish since it was my first time exploring here. This one costs $2 and this one is $1. If I cooked these dishes myself, I couldn't make them this cheaply.
Small cakes cost just 2 cents for 2, while larger ones are 4 to 5 cents each. The sellers begin preparing their dishes at 4 a.m. and continue until noon. Even though they observe the Ramadan fast, neither eating nor drinking during daylight hours, the vendors remain cheerful and dedicated to serving their customers.
Fasting helps me understand how disadvantaged people feel when they are hungry. This experience nurtures my sympathy and love for others.
The Ramadan Culinary Market runs for 1 month, from February 28th to March 30th, operating daily from 1 p.m. until sunset.
The annual Som Đốc Nghinh Ông Festival, also known as the Well Worshipping Festival, opened Thursday night in Som Đốc town, Cà Mau province. And this year's theme celebrates 100 years of formation and development of this national intangible cultural heritage. The festival is organized at a provincial level, aims to honor the spirit of safe sailing and promote tourism opportunities. A key highlight of the event is the Well Procession at sea, which took place on Friday. This procession reenacts the traditional ritual of fishermen welcoming the well god and conducting worship ceremonies at the well temple. Now in March, the Northwest enters the banflower season. The pure white color covers the mountains and hills, signaling the arrival of a vibrant festival season. The Banflower Festival has become a tourism highlight, attracting tens of thousands of visitors from inside and outside the country to Điện Biên province.
These days, Điện Biên Phủ city in Điện Biên province is covered in white banflowers on the mountain ridges and peaks. Visitors can capture the wonderful moments of the northwestern spring.
This year's banflower season is very beautiful, signaling a prosperous and favorable year ahead.
The ban flowers are beautiful, blooming everywhere in a magnificent and perfect way.
The Ban Flower Festival is held in March, a historic month. 71 years ago, the battles began here, marking the start of the Điện Biên Phủ campaign.
I visited the site and was impressed by how well it's preserved, especially with the ban flowers in bloom. I was deeply moved and plan to visit again.
First held in 2014, the Ban Flower Festival has undergone an impressive development journey, evolving from a local culture event into a unique tourism product, attracting numerous domestic and international visitors.
Building on past successes, this year's Ban Flower Festival features cultural showcases, a Ban Flower beauty contest, and efforts to attract visitors to Dien Bien.
After the success of the 2024 Điện Biên National Tourism Year and the 70th anniversary of the Điện Biên Phủ victory, Điện Biên has become a must-visit destination. The highlight of this year's Ban Flower Festival is the opening art event, Điện Biên, the Blooming Ban Colors, on March 14.
Coming up next in our world news. Russia agrees in principle with the U.S. ceasefire proposal. And the U.S. threatens 200% tariff on alcohol from the EU and France. Now moving on to our world news, Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Thursday that Russia agreed with U.S. proposals for a ceasefire in Ukraine. However, he emphasized that any truce must address the conflict's root cause, and many crucial details remain unresolved. Speaking to reporters in Moscow, Putin reaffirmed Russia's support for the ceasefire proposal. He noted that both sides need to address key implementation issues, including how to monitor the ceasefire and determine who would authorize the cessation of hostilities in Ukraine. Putin indicated he might call President Trump to discuss these matters. U.S. President Trump called Putin's response to the ceasefire plan promising but incomplete. Trump expressed hope that Russia would make the right decision for peace. Russia has expanded its entry ban on representatives of the European Union and its member states in response to the bloc's 16th sanctions package. And according to the Russian Foreign Ministry, the expanded entry ban applies to representatives from EU government and commercial organizations, security agencies, and citizens involved in military aid to Ukraine and sanctions against Russia. The ban also targets European lawmakers, activists, and academics who promote anti-Russian policies and rhetoric. The European Council on February 24th adopted the 16th package of sanctions against Russia, targeting multiple sectors, including energy, trade, transport, infrastructure, and finance. Trade tensions between the U.S. and the EU continue to escalate. U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday warned he would impose a 200% tax on French and European alcoholic beverages, including wine and champagne, if the bloc does not remove its 50% tax on American whiskey. And this threat follows the European Commission's or EC announcement on Wednesday of planned retaliatory tariffs totaling 26 billion euros or $28 billion on American goods, set to take effect next month. The EC emphasized its willingness to negotiate on tariffs, noting that escalation would not benefit either party. The EU Trade Commissioner is scheduled to discuss the tariff dispute with their U.S. counterpart in a phone call on Friday. An early flowering variety of cherry blossoms bloom in Tokyo and Kawazu-Zakura, a town in central Japan, this week. And the blooming flowers drew crowds of delighted spectators to admire their beauty. In Japanese culture, cherry blossoms symbolize joy and beauty and are believed to bring an auspicious start to the coming year.
At Tokyo's Ueno Park on Thursday, early flowering cherry blossoms were in bloom. Locals and tourists gathered to take photographs beneath the trees adorned with pink and white flowers.
It's warm and the cherry blossom here, it's beautiful, so yeah, we are enjoying it very much.
According to local media citing private weather company Weather News, Tokyo's cherry blossom season is set to begin next Friday, March 21st.
We want to see the full bloom, and the forecast say it's next week. Yes, we see it next week.
In central Japan, visitors flock to the Cherry Blossom Festival to admire Kawazu Sakura, an early blooming variety. This special cherry tree was discovered in Kawazu Town, Shizuoka Prefecture, around 1955. The view of roughly 800 cherry trees planted along the Kawazu River is a famous sightseeing spot. Warm weather in late March is expected to accelerate cherry blossom blooming across Japan.
And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.